So as you can see, our today's topic of discussion is imperfection in solids. Okay. Now this particular topic, that is imperfection in the solid, it's a question about defect. Actually, we are talking about defects. Okay. So question of defect will not come in amorphous solid, because in amorphous solid there is no correct arrangement of constituent particles. Correct? No. Only where you find the correct arrangement is in crystalline. Okay. Crystalline, you have correct order arrangement of particles in a particular lattice. So if you find there is any deviation, okay, anything which is different, which you are able to observe in this particular crystal lattice, okay, this is the proper crystalline solid. Okay. But remember, a perfect crystal does not exist. Okay. You cannot prepare an ideal crystal. That is not possible. So they say actually that existence is possible only at 0 Kelvin. So maintaining 0 Kelvin and getting it to a perfect crystal is not possible. So if you start increasing the temperature, normally the crystal preparation will happen at room temperature. Correct? No. So when you take the temperature a little higher, there will be some departure from the complete order arrangement. Okay. So in actual practice, let me tell you that it is very difficult to grow a perfect crystal. So some or the other deviation you will be able to find in the crystal. Okay. So that deviation, what you're finding, that is what we call as imperfection, or we call them as defects. Okay. So how that imperfection can come? Either some other impurities can come in the crystal lattice, or you can see here some impurities, the red ones you can see over here on this side, and then you can see that yellow one. Okay, some other atoms are coming, or there will be some atoms missing from that particular crystal lattice. Okay, so if you don't find that correct arrangement, you find something which is unusual in the crystal, then we call them as defect. Okay, I hope it is clear. This defects or imperfection means if you find something has come into the crystal lattice, or you see that something has gone out from the crystal lattice. So comparing with the ideal crystal, if you find some deviation which has happened, okay, when you compare with the ideal system, you find something is not correct, any deviation if you are able to see in this order arrangement, then that is called as imperfection or defects. Okay, so we are actually going to talk about two kinds of defect here. One is point defect and the other one is line defect. Now point defect means if you find any deviation in the lattice point, okay, any ideal arrangement deviation if you're finding in the lattice point, like you can see here, this is one lattice point, you can see here one atom has gone missing, or in this lattice point one atom has come. Okay, so if you find any deviation at around the point, okay, around the point in the crystal, then it is called as point defect. Now line defect means entire row, if you find there is some deviation which has taken place, like if you see now the first row, second row and third row, okay, you can see there is correct arrangement of atoms one after the other. But if you come to the fourth row, I have marked here fourth one, you can see here one whole row is gone missing. You can see I have put a star mark here. So that whole row, in that whole row the atoms have gone missing. Okay, so then if you find in the whole line there is something unusual, okay, any deviation has taken place in that whole line, then that will be called as line defect. But for your syllabus you are going to study only about point defect. Okay, we don't have any discussion about the line defect to be done. Okay, for your syllabus that will be in the higher classes. I believe this much is clear. So here I've put one picture. You can see this picture is from the electron microscope. Okay, using electron microscope or tunnel microscope. Using that only you will be able to see the whole crystal lattice is there, no, and the deviation which has been observed. So you can see here at this point there is atoms which have gone missing. Okay, so this is through the microscope you can be able to see the arrangement. Okay, so this comes under point defect. Okay, in one lattice point some of the atom has gone missing. Okay, or some other atom if they have come in that lattice point, then also it will come under point defect. Now see the next one. Again I've taken the another picture. Okay, this is again from the microscope. You can see that, see here in this particular line they have circled it. Can you see in this particular point, you can see in the whole line there is some deviation which has taken place. So it is happening throughout that whole line. In the whole row it will happen like that. Okay, so then they come under point defect. I believe it is clear. So definitions I've given here. There are two types of imperfection in the defect: point defect and line defect. So point defect means if you find any irregularities or deviation from the ideal arrangement around the point, okay, in an atom. And line defect means if you find any irregularity or deviation from the ideal arrangement in the entire row, okay, the whole row, if you find any deviation. And I told you, you have only point defect to study. Yeah, let's move on with the different kinds of defect you are going to study under point defect itself. Okay, so for your syllabus, what you have is this defects, point defects which are there. They are further classified into three categories. You can see here. Okay, one is impurity defect. Okay, impurity defect is there. And then after that, you have stoichiometric defect. And then we have non-stoichiometric defect. These are again further divided. Okay, under stoichiometric, you can see they are further divided into Schottky defect. Then we have Frenkel defect, vacancy defect, and interstitial defect. And then non-stoichiometric defects are further divided into metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Okay, so first part what you're going to learn is about stoichiometric. So let me go for that. Okay, so first one is stoichiometric defect. Now first understand what a stoichiometric compound. See, stoichiometric means if those compounds, stoichiometric compound means these are those compound which has a equal number of positive and negative ions. Okay, which is exactly in the ratio indicated by the chemical formula. So like I have positive, you know, it is cations, and then negative are anions. So this positive and negative ion ratios are there, no? So those ratios are equal, okay, in this compound, stoichiometric compound. They are equal to the ratio which we have got from the actual chemical formula. Like for example, if I tell you about sodium chloride, okay, in sodium chloride, you know, there is one sodium ion. For one sodium ion, we have one chlorine ion, correct? No? So that means 1:1 ratio it is. So if you estimate from the whole crystal, okay, whole crystal you have estimated, and then you have found out how many sodium ions and how many chlorine ions are there. So suppose if you get 10 to the power 6 sodium ion is there, and for that you have 10 to the power 6 chlorine ion. So if you take the ratio of this, you will get 1:1 ratio. So finally, from our compound, okay, actual compound formula is NaCl. That means for one Na, we have one chlorine ion. Okay, so your positive and negative ion ratio should come as equal. Okay, with respect to whatever formula you have, the standard formula. Like in the case of NaCl, it is one Na and one chlorine. But if it is like diatomic, divalent compound, then it will be different. Like for example, if I tell you about calcium fluoride CaF2, then what should be the ratio we should get? For one calcium ion, you should be able to get two fluorine ion. Okay, so this ratio finally you should get. So if the final compound ratio, cation and anion ratio comes out in this way, then it is called a stoichiometric compound. Okay, so here these defects are where the number of cation and anion ratios are there. No, they remain equal to the chemical formula finally. Okay, so those defects will be called as stoichiometric defect. Now this I told you, these are further divided, stoichiometric defects. Okay, so in that they are again divided into two categories. One is for non-ionic compounds and the other one is for ionic compounds. So under non-ionic solids, no, for non-ionic solids we have two defects. One is vacancy defect and the other one is interstitial defect. Okay, so we will see this for non-ionic compounds, okay, which are not formed because of ions. They are just molecules. In that, constituent particles may be molecules. Molecules are linked with one another to form this particular solid. Okay, so under that you are having two types of defect. One is vacancy defect and the other one is interstitial defect. So let me tell you what exactly they are. So starting with first one, vacancy defect. See, go with the name. Vacancy means what? That something is missing. Okay, vacancy means like that. So here you can see if I have this as a perfect crystal. So this is a perfect crystal towards my left side. And on the right side you can see, okay, in one of this side, there is the atoms which have gone missing. Okay, so here one site has created, a vacancy site has created. So this defect will be called as vacancy defect. Okay, so if you have a perfect crystal and then due to some reason, maybe because of this, usually happens because of temperature. Okay, suppose if you increase the temperature, then this particular molecules which are there, they will absorb that temperature and they go missing from that particular lattice site. Okay, so then a vacant place is created. You can see here a vacant place is created. So then this will be called as vacancy defect. Okay, so here the first one, and I said it basically happens because of temperature. Okay, so it is also called as thermodynamic defect. This defect is also called as thermodynamic defect. One more name for this. Now talking about the density. What will happen to the density of this particular crystal if vacancy defect has taken place? Okay. See, this was the perfect one, and this the second one which we are having has one atom less here. Okay, in this picture you can see one atom is less. Then what will happen to the density? Okay. So if one atom is less, density is nothing but mass by volume, correct? No. If one atom is less, automatically the mass also will become less. So mass is directly related to density, correct? No. So if the mass becomes less, that means density also will decrease. Agree with me? Did you follow this point? Vacancy defect means what? Vacancy means in any of your lattice point, if there is a vacant place created, okay? So then that crystal will be called as vacancy defect, okay? They will be going through vacancy defect. So we are talking about what will happen to the density. So if you know here one atom has gone missing, so if they have gone missing, that means mass will decrease, okay? Because one atom is less, so their mass will become lesser over there. And mass and density, they are directly related to each other. So if the mass decreases, that means density of that crystal also will decrease. So if vacancy defect has taken place, then it will decrease the density of that particular crystal, okay? Yes, so vacancy defect, once again I'm repeating, it is where you see that vacant sites are created. Okay, if a vacant site is created, then that defect will be called as vacancy defect. And usually this happens because when you heat the crystal, they will absorb that certain temperature and these molecules will move out from the crystal lattice. Okay, and when this defect take place, how does it affect the density? You know that here one atom has gone missing, like that it is a huge crystal, so many atoms might go missing from that particular site. Okay, so many vacant places will be created. So when the vacant place is created, density is mass by volume. Okay, when mass decreases, when the molecules have gone out, their mass will be less. Okay, in this crystal, because they have gone out, so they are not present, so automatically the mass of the crystal will decrease. When the mass decreases, density of the solid automatically decreases. Okay, that's all about vacancy. Now moving on with the second one, second defect what you are having, that is interstitial defect. Okay, so let us understand what is interstitial. See, interstitial means this is site you can see here, no? This is space which is available over here between the atoms. Like if I have, these atoms are in contact with each other. There is no much space like this. See, if I have one atom here, then I will be having next atom and then the next one after the other. Okay, then like that only if I have atom over here like this. So when you place the atom, you see that there is a space which is created, which we also call them as void. Okay, you have studied about voids, correct? In three-dimensional closed packing, you have studied about tetrahedral void, octahedral void. Yeah, that space itself is interstitial site. Okay, this site itself is called as interstitial site. Okay, so now here, suppose this I can take an example of alloys preparations are there, no? Like for example, for iron, they add carbon also. Okay, so carbon atoms are little smaller. Carbon or even imagine hydrogen atoms. Okay, so those atoms are little smaller in size. So during that process, if this small atom gets trapped into this site, okay, in this pure crystal, if these small atoms get trapped within this site, then that defect will be called as interstitial defect. Okay, so you can see the other picture I've shown here. In that interstitial site, there are some atoms which have come and occupied. Okay, compared to the pure atom, you are seeing that there are atoms which are present in the interstitial site. Then this defect will be called as interstitial defect. Now, what do you think will happen to the density? How does the density get affected if the atoms come and occupy? You are able to answer this, correct? No, because I've told you in the vacant this one what happens. Yeah, very good, correct. So if you talk about the density, there are atoms which have come and occupied. So it's like extra atoms have come now. So if extra atoms have come, it's like if 2 3 guests have come, then automatically that mass of that whole room will increase, correct? No, so like that only it is. So here if I have to talk about the density, mass by volume, mass will increase because of these few atoms which have come and occupied. So then density automatically will increase. Okay, so you can write down what is interstitial defect. When some constituent particles, it can be anything, atoms or molecules, they come and occupy the interstitial site, then it is called as interstitial defect. Okay, and it will increase the density. Yes, let us see now for ionic solid. Okay, these two defects whichever I spoke, vacancy and interstitial, they come under non-ionic. Okay, now these ionic compounds are there, no, they show these two defects. Okay, one I told you is Schottky defect. So let's see what is Schottky defect. This defect is usually seen, okay, this the name has come because of the German scientist Schottky. Okay, so the name has fallen as Schottky defect because he was the first one, I think around in 1930 he observed this defect in the crystal, so it is named as Schottky defect. So now, in which kind of crystal system this defects will be observed? So usually they say if the cation and anion size is almost similar, okay, this defect is seen in those crystal. Okay, if cation size and anion size is almost similar. For example, sodium chloride. If you talk about sodium and chlorine size, it's almost similar. Okay, I am not saying exactly they are same. Okay, almost a similar size if they are having, then this defect will be seen. Now, what happens in this defect is, you can see here properly, this the red ones are there, no, they are cation ones. Okay, and this blue ones are there, no, they are the anion part. So in this defect, one more thing you remember, students, always the crystals are there, no, they are neutral. Okay, so there will be equal number of positive as well as negative charge. Okay, you know, every salts are usually neutral. Okay, because the positive charge will be neutralized by the negative charge. Now here in this defect, if one cation has gone missing, you can see here this positive part has gone missing. You can see a vacant space created here. So to neutralize that, one anion also will go missing. Okay, so then that defect is Schottky defect. If there is missing of equal number of cation as well as anion from their lattice site. Okay, cation and anion, equal number of cation and anion goes missing from their lattice site, then that defect is called as Schottky defect. Okay, usually seen in, I said, it is usually seen in those salts where the cation and anion sites are almost similar. Okay, if their size is almost similar, then this defect will be seen. Okay, now coming to the density, how will it affect the density of the crystal? What do you think will happen to the density? Now you all answer, all these part you can answer. What will happen to the density of this particular crystal, students, if one cation and one anion goes missing? Yes, very good. Correct, no? Density will decrease. Because here, see, two ions have gone. So that means their mass will get less, no? Because they have gone out. It's like if I have one room over here, okay, and then there are 10 members. And out of that, 8 members are remaining and 2 people have gone out. So that means their mass will become less in this particular unit cell. So like that only here, 2 people, it's like 2 people have gone out. So if 2 people have gone out, then automatically their mass will not be there, no, in this crystal. So density will automatically decrease. Okay. An example you can take NaCl, KCl, KBr, okay, NaCl, KCl, KBr, okay, cesium chloride. All of these compounds will show Schottky defect. I hope it's clear. Schottky defect means what? So you can write down. So it arises when equal number of cation and anions are missing from the lattice site to maintain the electrical neutrality. I said that positive and negative charge has to be maintained, okay, because a crystal is never with a charge, okay, they are always neutral. So if one cation goes missing, that will be followed by the anion, and that will decrease the density of the solid, okay. This basically actually affects the property of the solid. All these defects are there, no, they will somewhere affect the like property of the solid, okay. And this is, like defects study becomes important especially in material science. If you're talking about the, okay, like if you want to prepare something, no, for aircraft, or if you're building something, engineers especially, they have to study about all this because they need to understand the material when they have to do the construction, okay. So this defects part becomes very important. Yes, let's see the next one also. Okay, the next defect what we are having, that is Frenkel defect. Okay, this was also again discovered by the Russian scientist, that is Frenkel, in around 1926. Okay, so now here what happens, and when this defect will be shown, this will be shown in those crystal where you can see here anion size. This blue one is there, no, that is the anion, and this red one which is there, they are cation. So if you see the size of the cation and anion, there is a lot of difference, okay. Usually the cations which are there, they are smaller in size, okay. So this cation, you can see they are smaller in size, and this anions which are there, they are larger in size. So this Frenkel defect is seen in them, okay. So now what happens is, if these are smaller and larger, okay, if I take a larger anion here, then you will have a small cation present. Then again, you will have a large anion. Okay. So continuously they are packed like that. Okay. Over here. So you can see here the space which is created, no, because of this larger anion, there is a lot of space you can see between the atoms. This is space which is created over here. Can you see this space which is created? So there is a lot of space, interstitial site which is created, so that has a lot of space. So this cation which is there, which is smaller in size, can move from their normal site and can go and occupy that interstitial site, okay. So if they go and occupy that site, leaving their own site, okay, then the defect which is observed, okay, that is called as Frenkel defect, okay. From their normal position, this cation will move and go and occupy the interstitial site, okay. So then this defect is Frenkel defect. Why it is happening? Because I told you, because of the size, okay. Here the anion which are there, they are larger in size, and the cations which are there, they are smaller in size. So there is lot of interstitial space which is created. So in that interstitial space, this cation can go and sit aram se, okay. So they can go and occupy themselves. So then the defect will be created over here, okay. That's Frenkel defect. Now what will happen to the density? How will it affect the density of the solid? What do you think? Will the density increase or decrease? Anything will happen to the density, or will it remain same? Three options I'm giving. Will it increase, will it decrease, or will it remain same? Because, yeah, very good. So what is happening here is, these cations are not moving out of the lattice, okay. They are there itself, okay. It's like if I have this room, okay, if one person from this place goes and sits in the other place, they are just changing their place, they are not going out of this room, okay. So that means the density of that particular crystal will not be affected unless they go out from the crystal, okay. So they are just moving, they are just shifting their place from one to another one, okay. So here density will remain the same. So remember, for Frenkel defect, density remains the same, okay. And this effect is also called as dislocation defect, because they are dislocating, they are changing their place from one to the another one, okay. So you can write down, it arises when the anion, okay, usually the ions, cations are occupying the interstitial side instead of their normal side. This defect is also called as dislocation defect. Okay, and then density remains the same. And seen in those kind of crystal where there is large difference between the size of the ions. Means the cations are usually smaller in size and the anions are usually larger in size. Okay, so here AgCl, AgBr, AgI, zinc sulfide, all these will come under this category. Okay, but you remember AgBr, okay, due to their radius ratio, okay, they show both the defect. Okay, this is one compound which shows a Schottky defect as well as Frenkel defect. This one give reason they can ask you. Okay, or one question which can be expected in your exam, which is one crystal which will show both the defect. Okay, so it is AgBr which can show both the defect. Okay, that's because of their radius ratio which is intermediate. Neither it's like too much of difference is there, neither it's like very small. Okay, so if it comes out to be almost intermediate, then they can show both the defect.